walking wall to wall. Yeah. Finger snapping day. Great ride is it? It's 62 degrees here, y'all. Ooh. Yeah. Okay, now it's telling me I'm live. I checked everything. The internet, well, I do it every time before I come down. Let's get ready for this walk. Oh, the old dog was having stomach problems this morning, so I had to deal with letting him out, letting him back in, letting him out, letting him back in. Whew. Yes, I got the old sneakers on because I left the new sneakers upstairs. Don't start and don't ask. I want to make sure y'all can see my feet. That's what's important. Well, the Wall Street Journal came to my mind because there was twice. I said only once, one and only, but it wasn't. I got a subscription to the Wall Street Journal, but it wasn't. When I was writing the concept for Africans in America theme park, part of it was that finally as African Americans, we would be able to get in on a ground floor investment. Usually y'all, the rich African Americans, they get in the top of the pyramid all the time. When we come in, we're the bottom of the pyramids. This is how I stop the Bitcoin and other people from harassing me. I just said to them, I'm tired of being the bottom of the pyramid. I want to be at the top. Hit me up when it first came out. By the time y'all hit us out, I know Bitcoin and shit had been out, as they call it, on the black web for years. So I was like, no. I instinctively knew because I had tried. This guy named on Twitter, used to be .com. He talked about Bitcoin and the dark web, black web. And I tried to get information, but you had to have this thing, and there was a lot of, you could hire people to kill all kind of stuff, all kind of crazy stuff on the dark or black web. So I was like, I couldn't even get onto it. And then bam, one day, it's off the dark web. And it's to us. And I'm getting all these African American pictures or images, and they're telling me about some Bitcoins. So I said, okay, all right. Y'all build the top of the pyramid, and now you need to have the bottom to keep you going. And yeah, that's when they came to us. So that was my response to them. I'm sick of being at the bottom of the pyramid. And that's how all these businesses are. The top is always already situated. It's the bottom that keeps the money flowing. You don't capitalize. You don't. Like here on like YouTube and Facebook. I mean, I love the company. I love talking to y'all. I love walking. I love posting my videos. After all, I am a screenplay writer. So I do look at stuff in like video-ish. But, no. I know I'm bottom. Well, I got 233 subscribers. So I picked the bottom I'm going to be. And I'm bottom Facebook and bottom YouTube. That's it. I make my videos. I talk to my friends. I have a good time. And everybody at the top makes money off of them. With me. But for me, it's an opportunity I've always dreamt of having. If I was younger, I would be setting up my own cameras, shooting my own screenplays. That's how I wrote them. I had to put myself in the mind of, can you produce and put cameras up and make this? So, even in my plays, simple sets. Could you carry the set for the play in the back of your car? Those are terms that I thought about when I was writing it. So, I'm all off track. So I don't want to be the bottom of the barrel. So that's why Africans in American Theme Park, I wanted to research it and find a way to get it to us so that finally we could be the top and they could be the bottom. So you know, on this penal colony, it was a fantasy. What can I tell you? I didn't know it was a penal colony then. Then I thought that I had been in the Matrix. I thought it was a land of opportunity, and it is for everyone except the descendants of the people, the original imprisoned Africans on this penal colony. So for everybody else, it is a land of opportunity and asylum and second chances. But we didn't come here this way. We came here because our ancestors were warring with Europe. And though some history has said when we was over there ruling Europe, we found South Americans and started shipping African enemies here first. And then of course when it was overthrown, the king said, well, since you got the penal colonies all set up, let me just send y'all over there. So then some historians, not the ones taught by white people, Carter Woodson said, so are you taught, so shall you think. I didn't learn this stuff through a professor referring me to his books and the books of his friends. I dug deep. So, anyway, that's what I want the African American theme park to be. Somewhere we could start, even from the dirt. Like when I got the land and we have like a groundbreaking ceremony, like you can take the dirt, and years later, you save that dirt, you bring it back, and it's a fully made park. That's your investment. We'll buy that dirt back from you. Well, you know what I'm saying? Even small investments like that. Oh, I had a whole camp set up. Anyway, I can't. It's too long if I didn't African American theme park, and we're already at 7 minutes. Okay. So, I got the Wall Street Journal because I wanted to know how the stock market and stuff worked. And then I had to find someone to follow to give me understanding, and I picked Reginald F. Lewis. He was they have him on the article for the New York Times says 99 to 1, or for 1, McCall. He did a return to his investors when he bought McCall Pattern Company at a rate of $99 on $1. They was hot. He came in and played the game. And he won. But he died from an aneurysm. And I always said they burnt his brain. They burnt him. That kind of maneuvering he had to do, you can't sleep. You gotta always be on top of it. That manifestation, your eye gotta be on it like you can't see nothing else. So, that's why I got the Wall Street Journal. I had to study the stock markets. Definitely anything going on like Disney, which is not under Disney. I'm going back to 1995, 94. They're always some investment corp or some kind of something like that. And then Great Adventures. Because remember, I'm doing research for African American theme park, so I wanted to know about that and how they go in the market and trade and how they open up and how they go public and blah, 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 blah. I don't want to burn my brain right now. We're just walking. So I got the Wall Street Journal. And I went digging at the New York Public Library on Fifth Avenue. So that's the first time I got my subscription to the Wall Street Journal. Just so I can learn about stocks, follow stocks, see how they go up and down, the blue chip, blah, 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 blah. Sometimes there was this pink newspaper, something business, that if something I didn't understand at the Wall Street Journal, I would get the business thing and look it up, and I'm burnt, my wheels are burning like steam coming out my head. Alright, so then the next time I brought the Wall Street Journal, it was after 9/11. I mean, right after 9/11. I remember no one asked regular people, especially African Americans, what was you doing when 9/11? I was sitting on a job amongst a group of the most ignorant people that, okay, minus one. We all sat separate. You had your blacks, you had your Hispanics, you had your whites, and they were mostly in the upper, departments. And the blacks, a couple of Hispanics, the blacks and the Hispanic Dominicans, because they could handle the Spanish problem, and we were separated. Now sometimes if they hired and it became like unbalanced, where it was a lot of Hispanic Dominicans and they put them together, and then they started getting complaints, so they had to put them back with the black people. And so we were the majority of customer service, data entry. Anything else above that was white people. So when I'm sitting at my desk and the group of the managers, all the managers is white, supervisors were white, they had gone down to get this to the Blue Cross Blue Shield, which was in the World Trade Center, and they hadn't gotten there yet, or they thought they got there yet. I was already at work working and said, oh my God, the World Trade Center is falling, and billing them, they're down there in New York. They're supposed to be meeting someone at the Blue Cross Blue Shield office at the World Trade Center. Oh my gosh. And I gotta tell y'all, nobody ever interviewed me, but the first thing that came through my mind was, I sure hope they come back acting a hell of a lot better than they did when they left. Hopefully, there'll be some diversity or something going on around here. So, and I thought about Irma. That's when I started crying. I thought about Irma. Irma had died maybe a couple days before, maybe a day before, a few days before, but it was really close. And she said, last time I sat and talked with her, she wanted to know, what did she ever do to these white people on this penal colony that she would be treated so badly? I even got it back to this now, just thinking of it. She used to have this like little baby voice. She said, what did we ever do to them? How, like, what's going on? We never did anything to them. I remember saying, No, Irma, we're talking about white people. I didn't have the brains to say, Irma, it's a penal colony, it's a penal colony. Stay alive, let's get some plane tickets, let's get the fuck out of here. I didn't have it, I was young enough. But I hadn't put everything together. Yeah, remember I did my research for Africans in American theme parks. Everything else that I came across that didn't help me, didn't pertain to that, yeah, I read it. I started somewhere. Anyway, it's almost time for our 15-minute break. So, I have to finish the story when we come back. Thanks for coming on the walk. Like, comment, share. Tell uncle, tell her auntie, tell a cousin, tell a friend. Subscribe. Whew. Let's get some water or air, y'all. I'm going for the air. And the music. Yeah. Hey, iMusic. Y'all can get the song from iMusic, iTunes, Spotify, and a few more things I probably should write down. Yeah. Have a finger snapping. At least know why you're working out, especially if you're our age. You ain't working out to get younger. I hope that ain't the case. That ain't happening. But to take care of what you got now, this position in life, yeah. You know what? I probably should keep this here. I think I want to know this, even though it's my own song. Because when you walk with me, sometimes I see a stripe. So I'm wondering if I have this, will, you know, let's experiment. Will I see a stripe against my video for my own song? Yeah. I'm stiff, y'all. I'm stiff. I'm trying not to put too much on these muscles, especially this right muscle that I have that leg thing on. So I'm stiff. Yesterday I was hanging, and today I didn't do anything, but I'm gonna be hanging tomorrow because I'm as stiff as a board. And then I had to go get these old sneakers. Okay, I want to make sure you can still see my feet. Let's see. I got a problem. Hold on. Oh no. I don't want to put no cult reminiscences on nothing, honey. I am cult free. Happy to be cult free, honey. Yeah. So, they billing them, because that's what it was. Billing them. Bill was the nicest of everybody. So that's how we, in our circle, African Americans on Dublin and the Dominicans, that's what we call them, Bill. Billing them are okay. Because with us, Bill was the only one that we really kind of cared about. So, finally, they make their way back, and they're all frazzled and everything. And in the back of my head, I'm saying, wow, yes, maybe this did something. Maybe these ignorant people got something from almost being blown to smithereens. So at the same time, there was this young African-American girl. She was so affected by the fact that people didn't have no clothes, they didn't have no this, they didn't have no that. So she literally asked people, when you come in tomorrow, can you bring in some clothes? Can you bring in whatever you have so I can take it down to the World Trade Center? I was so shocked. I was like, wow, you doing that, sister? And she said, yeah. So, yep, we rustled up some stuff. We gave it to her. She took it down there. Some people gave money and, you know, what they could, especially for her to get back and forth. But mostly clothes, blankets, things, different things like that. Because African Americans are like that. Stop going for the lie. See who the killers really are around the world. Anyway, the next day, she took the day off. She worked there. She requested it. She got it. She came. She collected all the stuff. And she went down to New York as close as she could get. She said she got right up there and was dropping off stuff. And then the next day, she came back to work. And honey, them ignorants, they were glaring at her. We were like, oh, what did you think? Step down there, blah, blah, blah. She was talking about how bad that is, and she was telling, oh, it's horrible. Them ignorance, or ignorant folks was eyeballing her. And then she got called into the office. And then they fired her. We were all like, what? They didn't want her to go down there. She wasn't supposed to go down there. And she wasn't supposed to come back and act like no hero. Remember, this is a penal colony, it's us. We don't do heroes. White people only do heroes. Maybe every now and again a black man can do a little heroic thing. But not too much. And they fired her. And right then and there I said to myself, holy shit. Them planes into that building ain't changed nothing. At that time I didn't know it was a penal colony. Now I know ain't nothing but flames gonna change the penal colony. But anyway, so I said to myself, wait a minute here. What exactly did them planes going into the World Trade Center do? So I got another subscription of the Wall Street Journal. How did it affect the market? Not at all. Did trades and acquisitions stop? Not at all. Donations to nonprofits dropped like bellies. I fell straight through. Lords of London, that gives you a clue who runs this penal colony. Lords of London had all these claims, and there was another insurance company called C something, something, was getting ready to go under from all the claims from the World Trade Center. So I said to myself, wait a minute here now. All the news outlets, all the liars and stuff, they coming out, but oh, it was horrible, it was devastating, it killed them. And I'm saying to myself, but it did nothing to the stock market. You want to attack the country and don't attack the monetary side of it. How is that? So I tried to convince myself that the bank votes was in the bottom of the World Trade Center. They said there was a lot of banks and stuff in there. But I said, no, not enough. I remember at that time, land of free home, I was under the matrix. And I said to myself, wait a minute. That didn't do nothing to Wall Street. That bell still rung. Other than the fact that it was a lot of smoke and all that kind of stuff like that. I was getting that Wall Street Journal every day. It went on as usual. So then I said to myself, wait a minute here now. What exactly? What? They said 3,000 people. Now, I didn't just I started feeling a little funny on this wall. I didn't just start being African American on this penal colony. And I know they don't give a damn about people. They don't. They don't, starting with us. 600 years ago, 30 generations, you hating us for? Like I said, they said Nobel Prize, Great Prize, all that stuff. When they say this penal colony, I'm always in shock. The most ignorant people on the planet. They don't even know why they hate. They just hate. Well, Pappy said hate them because they rape our pure and porcelain women's. Anyway, nothing changed. So I said, wait a minute. What's going on? Only the non-profits is losing, goodwill, all that stuff, donations down, Leukemia Foundation, all that cancer research, all that money was gone. It was to the point they had to start laying people off. But not the stock market. So I started thinking, so wait a minute here. All they did was kill about 3,000 people. And people said, oh, you so. Okay. Y'all done killed 3,000 of us. Your patty rollers has killed more than 3,000 of our young men and dropped enough guns in our neighborhood so they can kill themselves or one another in 10 years. You don't give a damn about no 3,000 people getting killed in no. So I had to dig. I said, what is this? I said, but... And they said, oh, they was doing it to sabotage the economy, brother. And then the ancestors' vibe just as clear. They said, if that was to go after Wall Street, especially the produce part, they'd have hit those farms. They'd have went through the Minnesotas, the Idaho's, the Oklahomas, the Minnesotans, because that's what I did in my stock market. That's produce. That's part of the stock market. That's a hard hit. That's a hard hit. Florida hit those orange. California hit those orange. Hit. But you didn't. She drove 2 planes until then, and then something with Washington and Penn. I said to myself, this sounds like a bunch of BS. Like the Matrix. Like the Matrix. Because surely they should know that to hit the heartland, that's why it's called the heartland. That's where all those produce things, orange, corn, soybeans, all that stuff. That's where the stock market is. Why wouldn't you hit the stock market like that? And then it came to me. BS, Joe. BS. You forget our military is just high-paid security guards for the crowns. And right now, high-paid security guards for the crowns of Saudi, what do they call it? I can see the spelling in my head, but I can't say immigrant, whatever, Emirates, because they have their own planes, and that's all we do. We go after the people, the little people that go after them. That's what our military does. And of course, when you look at those 2 bombs dropped on Hiroshima, that was because of Japan had started it on the Brits too. And the Brits pulled out their junkyard dogs, which is this military or this penal colony. They call it the USA, but you just can say penal colony. It should be penal colony 1, penal colony 2, penal colony 3. What I'm trying to say is 1 being the USA, or 1 being Jamaica, 2 being the Dominican Republic. That's for Spain. That's how they get their money. Well, anyway, 3, 2 here, Jamaica, probably the Barbados and stuff, and of course here, that's where the enslaved Africans were brought. So, I saw it as being another thing of the Matrix, or sleight of hands. Look at this while we do something else. And I was grateful that I saw that. But I realized that it was BS. These farms and farmlands that the Monty get their vegetables from, and this one that's Midwest. You light up that Midwest, you want to see some changes in the stock market. Elbow in, squeeze your gut, neither up nor down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One's good luck. No! Going up. Going up the World Trade Center was just Matrix, honey. This penal colony, these ignorants. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 1 for good luck. Oh, I would get a much wider treadmill. Oh, and that way I would move it from the wall, and I could do my stretch outs, and we could do this. I don't got but a ceiling here, so if we did overhead, I'd have to do like this. Ooh. Ooh. Oh boy, if I don't hold on, I will make it to the viral. Like, comment, share. We're going to have our gulp and chat now. So, I remember reading the Wall Street Journal and seeing that absolutely nothing had changed. It had no effect on the stock market whatsoever. As I told you, the nonprofits took a hell of a hit. You know, everyone was donating to the 9/11 Foundation, clothes, firemen, blah, 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 blah. And the only people that I saw in the Wall Street Journal that was taking a hit was the nonprofits. And that's when I started promoting for Light the Night, which is a leukemia foundation, because a little cousin of mine, Derek, died from leukemia. So when I saw what they was going through, I said, well, if I'm going to do any fundraising, anything like that, I'm going to do it for them. And me and this little boy junior that I was mentoring, we started setting up tables at Pathmark. We did pretty good, $90 of donations to Light the Night. And that's the only one that I read and saw who was suffering. But the stock market didn't. So I'm saying, how can you attack this penal colony, aka country, aka USA, aka America, and don't hit the money? I I know you may see this as being different, but I see it as being the same. It's like the people who set their house on fire but take out all the expensive paintings, all the expensive jewelry. They take it out. And then they say, oh my gosh, it was an accident. Well, why is all the expensive stuff out here if it, you know, and that's usually the police and firemen who find that stuff out. But how do you do that? So for me, I didn't say anything to anybody because old African American woman, even though I was in my 40s and still considered old, they didn't want to give a damn. They just went, we hate Iran, we hate Iran, we hate the tans, we hate the tans. That's all they want to hear. I was saying, wait a minute. You didn't attack this country. And in the process of the Wall Street Journal, you're going to love this. My sister started working for the telephone company, which is called Marbella, when she was 16. And at the time, they didn't give maternity leave. They didn't pay you. It was like, it was almost, because men ran everything, to men, having a baby and them having a toothache is the same. So because a man can get over a toothache in about a week, if you go to the dentist and take the antibiotics, about a week, because he sets the rules and make everything, he's basically said, you have a week after the baby is born. You know, unless you save the vacation time and stuff. But after that, when you stay out, you won't get paid. We won't hold your position, but you will have a job when you get back. So, say if you started in the business office, which is hired in information and hired in zero operator, that's a good position to be in, and you're making good money. So you go on maternity leave, they'll give you that week, then after that, they're giving you nothing, and then you come back to work. So I'm looking at trying to find out how the stock market crashing. It's not. Them planes into that building did absolutely nothing to the financial state of the United States of America. All I kept hearing about is the Lords of London. All the claims, the Lords of London in Britain, Britannia, in England, pay us for insurance claims. So I was like, I didn't connect penal colony yet. So you see how all little pieces, okay. But nothing. No financial stress at all. None. I wish I could remember the name of that insurance company. It's not around anymore. But after 9/11, they claimed out. But they was also backed by the Lords of London. Excuse me. Put my gas back in. But those planes did nothing to anything the financial state. They didn't even try to cripple the military. If they were attacking this penal colony, wouldn't they at least try to cripple the military? See, and that's what came after them? But no, didn't do that either. So now y'all know why I stay alone. Because don't nobody else look at it that like me. I was like, this seemed like a little bit of Matrix. And they'll say, oh, so many people die. America kills tons of it. Okay, let's talk about this Oxycontin epidemic that was made here in America. in the state of Connecticut that is poisoning and killing people all over the world. No problem with the stocks. Stocks is good. Stocks is good. They don't care about people. So I knew that was the BS. Look at fentanyl. Right here. The Mexicans know how to make it better than we do here. That started for the surgery and all that kind of stuff. Killed millions like Oxycontin. So why are you so concerned about 3,000 people killed in the building? I know how this penal colony thing. Those people was collateral damage for the Matrix. Security guards for the crowns. And obviously, the crowns was having problems with these Islamic rebels. And to make it okay for our tax dollars to go for it, voila, 3,000 collateral damage. Until you see this place for what it really is, a penal colony, and stop falling for all the minutia, because after the planes hit the World Trade Center, ain't stopped the Patty Rolls from killing us, ain't stopped the banks from turning down giving us loans, ain't stopped them from taking farms from us, ain't stopped them from not giving loans to the black people who had farms and was trying to keep them. It didn't stop them from any of their ignorant actions against us. You call it race, you call that. But you got to know the history of something, or you got to know in order to be racist. They don't know that. They just sit down at Mammy and Pappy's table, and Mammy and Pappy said, you know you can't trust them black people. And Pappy said, see it inward, string it up, and all the days you have good luck. That is their understanding of African Americans and black history. And of course, they write their own black history. Remember, like during enslavement days, all the activists, abolitionists and stuff wrote about this, how they would, the overseers on the plantation would have all the enslaved people come and sing and dance, and then they say, oh, they happy being slaves. So, you see how the Matrix works? They still do the same thing, but this is even after the planes went in. And I never forget that girl from the job. I thought what she did was so heroic. And even that time, I was like, wow. Wow, like I said, the bosses went down. And they came back, the ignorance. I just knew when they was coming. And they came back and they looked like they had almost seen their life flash before their eyes. Ain't nothing changed. No minorities were promoted. I think from that plane going in there, they definitely wasn't going to promote minorities. If anybody got hurt out of that, it was African Americans and brown people. Because that was it. Back to being inmate criminal. Born in blood, labeled inmate criminal. It did nothing. It did nothing to the stock market. It did nothing to oppressing us, the descendants of the original people on this penal planet. It only thing that it did was take our tax dollars, throw it behind the military to go and protect the crown and their money. That's what those Islamist people was doing. They was going after the crown's money. And the crowns back this penal colony. And this particular crown backs our military. So this would make everybody say, oh, we've been attacked. Oh, we're under attack. Send out the military. And then George Bush was like, yeah, yeah, get them, get them, get them, get them, get them. We cowboy. The Matrix, y'all. They was messing with that all shit over there. Them Saudis and them emergents, they don't like it when you be messing with their oil. It makes them billionaires. They have tigers for pets. So when those little Islamics went around bombing up stuff like that, and the Saudis called in their junkyard dogs. The American army everywhere, straight out, and fucked everybody up. And they left the Saudis alone. Now, over in Iraq, Russia's going after Ukraine? No. Ukraine is blocked from the crown of Europe. The crowns of Europe. So what happens on this penal colony? They don't get the junkyard dogs. They take the money. What was it about? Should be about 20 billion now. Because you're going to stop those Russians before anywhere close to any European crown. You're going to stop the Russians before they get to any European crown. And though now we're aware of the matrix bullshit, so they didn't send over the military yet. But I'm going to tell you, African Americans, I'm going to tell you something. We don't own the pictures of the military being strung up from trees in a uniform. But you've seen them. White people make money off them, so they do trap them around. I know for a fact, my own blood, the direct line father, had to stand up on a bus from Virginia to South Carolina in his Army uniform. The most humiliating experience he ever had. Man ain't never got back on a bus since. So before y'all go out there protecting the crown that put your ancestors on this penal colony, you better check yourself. Because it don't make you no better, no greater, no nothing. On this penal colony, just because your ancestors were brought here by those same crowns that you going out there, Russia can run straight through. Mind our business. What, 2001? And by 2020, them patty rolls was blowing our kids' brains out like crazy. Still throwing you in jail, still doing everything, and they still doing it now. If you want to defend somebody, your ancestors said defend yourself. Nothing changed. And that's why I remember, that's the second time I bought the Wall Street Journal. One, to train myself how to read the stock market. Like I said, I follow Reginald F. Lewis, a few other black marketing companies. I can find them on the stock market and just follow the history and all that. That was for Africans in American Theme Park. But this time, I got my subscription. Just, I'm telling you, 9/11 by 9/12, I was calling, getting my subscription. Yes, and they answered the phone. Calling and getting my subscription for the Wall Street Journal, so I could see just how 9/11 affected the economics of this penal colony. And those 3 planes did nothing. Surely, if they wanted to do something, you would take those planes. I've been in the plane flying over the Midwest. I flew from East Coast to West Coast. Surely, you would hit the heartland and start letting that fuselage start falling down on them crops and shit. Then take a little private plane and go behind it and drop you some Molotov cocktails and start lightening up them fields and them corns and stuff like that, but they didn't do that. They drove 3 planes into the East Coast. That fuselage and that fire ravaging through the Midwest, cutting off all those crops, all that livestock, all that extra thing, you would have seen the attack on this penal colony economically. But they took 3 planes and America was under attack. And I couldn't say nothing. Because everybody wanted America done it. It was horrible. And all I kept thinking about was Irma. I thought about the girl they fired for taking stuff down there. And just the fact that them beasts that looked death in the face came back to office. It was just as beastly, low life, and ignorant as ever. No change whatsoever. So, but to now, I used to write little articles, stuff like that. People say, you didn't say your sincerest condolences to the family. Ain't nobody, they've been shooting kids out there all the time. All African-American kids all the time. George Floyd, I ain't get no letter. Nobody said to me, sorry about your George Floyd. So why am I gonna, sorry about, no. That's another thing. They always want us to be sorry. Sorry about you this. Sorry about you that. Well, they just took a white black man and tied him with ropes and dropped him down the street and split him apart. They ain't sorry. But we were saying, oh, sorry that happened to him. Sorry that happened to the white people. Sorry. So that's why I bought the Wall Street Journal. 3 planes into the World Trade Center and into the East Coast thing. It was not an attack on America. It was a sleight of hands. And that's why you put all those troops and sent all of them over there to protect the Saudis' growth, to protect the immigrants, or whatever it is they call it, wealth, the crowns, the kings of over there, of the Arabs, the Saudi Arabs, the this Arab, the immigrants, okay? That's who you protected. They paid well. Politicians got it. They're quite happy. Listen, Mick McConnell went in chewing on cotton seeds for dinner, and now he's basking on caviar, snails, And well, the man's a millionaire. Well, I ain't talk too much like that because they don't, you know. I always see things differently. I always look into things differently. I'm telling you, it's going back to the hanging tree. Going back to that hanging tree. Just going from the time Audrey introduced me to that hanging tree. And I know when I went back and it was cut down and I just cried. I couldn't believe they cut it down. I was so... But what I didn't know was that when I left, they left with me. Whoever was hanging out there was like, here she is. And we was waiting for you to come visit us. And they've been hanging with me ever since. So I don't think like y'all think. Like, it's the Matrix. Nothing happened to America. America wasn't attacked. It did not affect the stock market or the economy whatsoever. As I said, the only people who suffered from the 9/11 winter were nonprofit organizations. Like the Night, the leukemia, cancer research and stuff like that. That's what I was reading in the Wall Street Journal. The Goodwills took a hit. The Salvation Armies took a hit because, I don't know, we were sending stuff down to New York to the fire people because they were still down at the World Trade Center doing stuff. And that's it. And then I found my sister's, when I sent her the article, she never told me she got the article. And it had to be some years later. I said, oh, did you ever get that article? She said, oh, yeah, I did. I got something. So she, for fear that I would ask for $1, she would never tell me what she got. Because maybe she would feel compelled to throw me 50 cents. But other than that, so no, they didn't attack America. That was sleight of hand, 3,000 collateral damage, and we said the okay, and they sent the army over there to the Saudis. And we took care of all the Saudis' enemies. Yes! Yes! This penal colony. Like, comment, share, tell an uncle, tell an auntie, tell a cousin, tell a friend, subscribe. And I think maybe like 2 or 3 days after 9/11, that Patty Roller shot a young black man. So I was like, there you go. Nothing changed. Like, comment, share. Tell an uncle, tell an auntie, tell a cousin, tell a friend. Subscribe. Thank you for coming on the walk. Have a great day. See you tomorrow. Yes, thanks for coming to the